It's me, it's Tanya, and I am indeed alive. I'm not dead yet. First and foremost, I want to address kind of why I'm not posting regularly, and I know I don't owe anyone an explanation, but I think that it ties into the real authentic side to everyday life, which is I can throw together a really aesthetic video of me cleaning, me getting organized, all that kind of stuff, but it wouldn't be realistic to what my everyday life is. And oftentimes I'm rushing out the door for work, I'm not packing my lunch, I'm not eating dinner until like 7 p.m. and I know that these are not habits I should be showing to people, so I don't film that. But at the same time, it feels wrong of me to kind of filter out my life into a short aesthetic timeline of, a very productive weekend in my life, when in reality a lot of the times on weekends I'm very exhausted from work and I kind of just don't want to do anything showing the raw clips of like the and the I don't really know what I'm doing and that kind of stuff. So I want to be able to show this. This is me kind of navigating where I want to take this channel. I'm literally scared of WAF. Okay. Q&A. Okay, what is your background? My background is that I am half Chinese, half Greek. My mom immigrated from China and my dad immigrated from Greece, and then they moved to Canada and then had me. Which is how many hours do you work? And typically it's 9 to 5 p.m. and I take a 30-minute break, but I do tend to work way longer than that, and a lot of the times it's not that people are asking me to stay later, it's that I have to stay later. Can't detach myself from my work because a lot of the stress that I feel the next day has to do with my own organization and my own work that I've done prior. And I can tell that when I've worked on something at night and when I actually organize for the next day, when I'm at work I'm way less stressed. And in a law firm it's very high paced and it's very thinking and doing a billion things at once, and I just can't afford that stress because you can't think properly and do things correctly when you're under that much stress. So I do work longer hours and I do work at home, but this is not the norm. I know a lot of people who are very strict with their boundaries and that they go into a law firm, they do their job, they go out, and they never think about it after they leave that firm. I, on the other hand, am someone who I need to do it myself if it's not getting done. I hate playing catch up. I hate having my head half above the water and not being able to fully breathe. I can't live like that. So in order to not live like that, I do have to sometimes stay after hours. Guys, I have so much work to do, it's not even funny. My ass is on the line because I have a sentencing hearing to prepare for tomorrow, and I need to come up with a book of authorities, go do the research, highlight the relevant parts of the case, and put it together all before 9 a.m. tomorrow. The question I got asked is, do you think you would do anything differently? And no, I would not, because I do not live my life in regret. However, I feel like I lived a very different life before this job. So it's not like I would do anything differently, it's just I wish that I had more time to kind of explore and travel maybe alone and kind of be able to experience and be with myself before I committed to working every single day. But the balance has been great because as a result of this job, I was actually able to leave my other jobs, so I actually have less jobs now because of that, but a more balanced lifestyle. Dude, I love my backyard garden that my mom created because she is an absolute beast. Could never do what she does. I honestly don't even know how she's learned all of this. It's really inspiring, and I would love to talk about my mom a bit more and be able to do a podcasty type of video with her, because I do not know where I'd be in life right now if I did not have the support of my mom. And she has had nothing but gives so much and has like the biggest heart. Be able to connect with her more and be able to talk to her more. I feel like it's common in Asian families to show love in a different way. I know that my mom shows love by doing acts of service and providing for me over saying I love you all the time. Who I am because of, in part, my mom and kind of what she's done for me. Hi. Okay, I'm continuing in a different time because my camera died and I was going through the rest of my day. Someone asked, how do you balance friendships in adulthood? And this is an interesting question because I struggle with this going into adulthood and trying to navigate expectations and boundaries. And I think an important thing to note when you are going into adulthood is that you're not going to know how to balance your friendships. And a lot of my friendships when I got into university became more long distant. I had a close friend of mine move to the States, and then eventually I moved to the States, sort of. I mean, like, I went on and off for 2 years, and so the friends that I had in Ottawa in Canada were hard to maintain. And then a year ago, like, my friend moved to Ireland for 10 months, right? So like a lot of my friendships were it was a different dynamic. I basically had long distance friendships, and I think that's when I learned that you need to be very good at vocalizing your expectations and your boundaries with people. Friendships in adulthood are so much more different, and there's less of this expectation to always hang out and see the people in your vicinity, and I call those vicinity friendships because they are the type of people that you have classes with, you are on sport teams with, like whatever it may be, you are in the vicinity of your friends. And a lot of that maintenance for friendships come from just that fact alone, is that you see them every day at school or whatever. But if you're someone who's younger that's watching and you're kind of scared about what your friends are going to be doing in the future, just know that no one has it figured out, and that is completely okay, and that's completely normal. About myself is that I hate pre-planning hangouts because I am a type of person who just wants to have my energy gauged by the day, and there are times where the next day I wake up and I'm like, I don't feel like investing my time right now into someone. And finding the right people who respect those boundaries is key, because sometimes I wake up and I'm literally just like, I don't want to do anything right now. Like, I don't want to go out and do this, or I don't want to be, you know, whatever. I think a part of that comes from having this expectation of myself that in order to hang out with someone, I need to be completely present. I need to be my best self. I need to be the most engaging and interactive, and it gets worse when I haven't seen this individual for a long period of time, because you just want to show up for them, right? There are friends where I don't feel the need to do that, and I can just, you know, exist. Like, there are many times where I've had like my friends literally sit on my bed and it was fine, or I would do yoga at their house. Like, one of my favorite things that I love is doing yoga with my friend Delia. Something that I do by myself, like an activity that I already do alone that I can share with someone, is beautiful. I don't know why we try and force ourselves to interact with people who either drain us or that we're not ready to see and hang out with, and that's just something that I think you get a better hold of for understanding in your adulthood. My sister says, can you tell stories while jade rolling your face? She loves when I just like sit in her room and just freaking jade roll my face and tell stories. Apparently I'm a good storyteller when I'm jade rolling my face. Okay, another question. Are there any career paths you see yourself doing other than law? Before I pursued law, I wanted to go into medicine. I am deeply passionate about health, like access to health care. I think it's a really big problem, especially in the US. As much as I loved sciences growing up, and as much as I was good at it, eventually a lot of the parts that I enjoyed about medicine came from a more policy side than a deliver of healthcare side. And I think my unique background growing up as a first-generation student, as parents who immigrated to Canada, and also coming from a family background on one side where they were in and out of jail, suffering from addiction, all that kind of stuff, I feel like it all boiled down to when I took a law class, I kind of put into perspective my experiences and how the law interacts with those experiences. And now working at a law firm, I don't regret my decision at all to pursue law. Luckily with my undergrad, I took a criminology program, which allowed me to get different avenues of psychology, sociology, law, and criminology. So I was able to like step my foot into different waters. But something that I loved the most were my law classes. I loved breaking down problems because they were like puzzles in my head. And all of the research that I'm doing right now for trials really shows that all that paid off. And I can literally just see all the abstract themes that we've learned come to life. I have so many different areas that I'm passionate about and that I'm really good at. It doesn't have to like toot my own horn, but I think it's really good to understand your strengths and your weaknesses. Your practice as a lawyer is not memorizing the laws. You have the laws right in front of you. They're all publicly accessible. It's about piecing together puzzles and understanding what the laws mean, how we can interpret them, how the courts have and are currently interpreting them, and what that means for your clients. So that to me is much more simple in my head. It just works better. But yes, I feel like I am where I belong, and I'm really happy about that because I think there was like a year-long stretch of I'm not good enough, I'm not gonna be able to go to law school, I'm not as good as I think I am, like I can love it but doesn't mean I'm good at it. Like there was a lot of thoughts going on here where I would spiral and have imposter syndrome. And don't get me wrong, like I still am scared for the actual practical side of things. Like I'm scared of when I actually am a lawyer, am I able to litigate as well as the people that are around me right now? And I think first and foremost is to understand that no one is developing these skills innately. Like it's always a thing where you can practice and learn from, and there are a bunch of things that I can do now that I didn't even like fathom doing before, or that I didn't have the confidence to do. So you can get better at these skills, but I don't know why I'm going so off into this, but I will talk a lot more about kind of the imposter syndrome and all that stuff. I know I've touched in it in previous videos, but I will talk a lot more about that in my law school related content, which I'm excited to talk about considering I have to start applying soon. More updates on that, but okay, that just about wraps up the Q&A. I feel like it is much harder to get to know me when I'm not sitting in front of a camera and talking. It's much different when I did my narration style of videos. So I do hope that you guys got to know a little bit more about me, and thank you for those who participated in the Q&A. I will see you in my next video. Bye!